What's up, guys and gals? It's your host of the most Griever, as always, bringing you guys the latest chapter review for Kengan Omega chapter 234, entitled The Result. And for everyone, right out of the gate, let's just talk about it. It's not as good as the last chapter. It's not as good, but if anybody went into this chapter and into this week expecting the high level, the 11 out of 10 expectations to rival Togo's ass, I mean, you were setting yourself up for failure. You rose too high. Your expectations were up here. Notice you can't see my hand anymore. At least I hope you can. Otherwise, this sort of falls flat, this visual analogy here. This was Togo's ass. And this is this chapter. Okay? It's within the realms. It's within the box. Togo's ass is outside of the box. It's up here. So, we already know that. We already knew this chapter was not going to match that greatness. But the chapter was still pretty good. For one thing, we're getting basically what a lot of... I've seen it on Reddit, and I've seen it, on Discord, and I've seen... I myself have said it, is that this whole idea of world harmony that the worm is promoting, just right out of the gate, Nogi rejects the whole proposition. Nogi rejects the whole, we're going to give you Gaoryuki and Tokita Oma, all that stuff. Pretty badass, honestly, of Nogi. He just goes, listen to me, you fucking terrorist. I'm done listening to you. I ain't doing shit with you. Your demands, your bullshit, fuck yeah. Right? So, good on Nogi. And Matsudo approves of this, and most of the Kengan Association approves on this. There's a few gags, but other than that, yeah, everybody approves of this idea. Now, the world harmony idea is that the worm keeps Shen from basically just going ape shit and just wrecking the status quo. As I said, I'm of the firm belief that their idea of world harmony, because you could define world harmony as a status, you almost could if you were in a certain equilibrium. So the world harmony that Yan is talking about could very well be keeping the status quo and not unleashing the connector upon the world. And we see exactly what's going to happen here, because they say, oh, you can't sneak any weapons, there's nobody else here, blah, blah, blah. But Shen is here. We see Shen, and it's likely the last of Jackie Lee, the beer connoisseur himself, and his best bud. It's you, best buddy. It's the Vegeta Goku right there. It's, hi, best buddy. Tink. That level is, I believe it was just destroyed. Now, granted, some people have said, Joji is sort of not looking too good, that he couldn't recognize Shen for what he was and stuff like that. I think once Shen turns it on, like he did here, Tarashi's here, and he recognizes it, right? Now, once again, is he fodder compared to Shen? 100%. 100%. But he's got a weapon this time. There are some differences and stuff, and even Shen is impressed, wait a minute, you could perceive me. That is impressive. And don't take that away. Once again, the one good thing we can take away from the Purgatory arc, the one good thing is, there's a few things, but honestly, the big thing that no one seems to understand, and this is real life martial arts sort of idea, but I know this is manga, so plot armor is always going to exist and supernaturalness, but the idea of the ABC cycle, the Pokemon starter cycle, the grass, fire, water thing, right? You can have a Charizard, it's ultimate, it's badass. A Blastoise is still going to have a type advantage over a Charizard, no matter how good your Charizard is. Let's forget the sand slash from the anime for a minute. But regardless of that, water is always going to be super effective against fire, right? Purgatory taught us this very simple idea, is that just because somebody's a B or not an S class or an A class gladiator doesn't mean that someone from C class can't beat someone from A class, right? It depends on the matchup. It matters. The style they use, the type of martial artists they are, their weight, their personality, all these things matter. It's not so clear, cut and dry as, okay, this guy is stronger than this guy, therefore everyone that this guy can beat, this guy can beat. That's not exactly, for some of the top tiers, yeah, that's sort of the case, and it can be the case for a lot of it, but in general, it's not. And so many tier lists, people make, whether for fun or actual power scalers do, A lot of people immediately say when they talk about like their B tier, right? When they talk about their beer tier or whatever, they sit there and they go, now granted, I'm just putting them in this order, but I think like number 2 from B tier all the way to number 7, any of these guys is a 50-50 chance at who's going to win. I'm just putting them in this order for the sake of making the tier list, right? So many tier lists are based like that, right? From the top all the way to the bottom, they're like, yeah, this isn't a definite thing, you know, when you're going along the row. So in the same sense here, do I think that Shen is going to be defeated here by our Gojo reject? No, I do not. I'm just saying that between the fact that he's now unlimited, like he's not held back by purgatory tomfoolery, and the fact that he perceived him, the fact that he perceived him is a feat. It is a feat, because the only ones that did it were Fangs of Metsudo. Everyone else in that room didn't. You know, we didn't. We've only seen 2 other characters that perceived that something was wrong in the room. We saw Oma perceive Luhan that something was wrong. So we've only seen a maximum of 4 people, and we've seen Oma was able to perceive Shen before as well on the street. Not fully perceived, but maybe in this situation he would perceive just like Tarashi. So we've only seen a handful of top tier characters, Fangs of Metsudo, actually recognize that something's wrong in this room. So I really like this. I actually really like this because Shen shows up. He's really cool and stuff. But Joji didn't, you know, see it. But once again, I don't think, because I think Shen was sort of suppressing it. And when Joji went away and sort of idea, that kind of idea. But I'm hoping the friendship we still get more friendship scenes, because maybe they don't find out it's Shen. I don't know, but Tarashi saw his face, so I don't know. And I mean, anybody who looks at Shen is immediately, they're going to make the connection eventually that he looks like Oma and stuff. So Luhan obviously looks more so like Oma and Ryuki. But yeah, either way, I do enjoy this chapter, because Tarashi, I think, is actually going to surprise us. Because I think it's a feat alone that he recognized Shen when Shen was trying. By his own admit, he's not being perceived right now, and he's just taking these guys out, and he takes out the whole floor, you know, because, of course, Nogi and the Kengan Association, they reject the whole idea, then they throw back the curtains, they're like, there's 400 martial artists in here, you know, with weapons and all that stuff, you guys are outgunned, outnumbered, blah, 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 and they throw back the curtains and show that all their security, well, here's the funny thing. It's none of the major bodyguards of Metsudo, it's none of the Fangs of Metsudo. Mutaba is also mentioned here, and this is what I love, is that, like, Mutaba is going to show up and he's going to kick some ass. Because remember, Tiger Nico ran away once he pulled a gun on him. That's my own headcanon, I'm sticking to it. That Mutaba was ready to shoot a bitch. And unless the man can dodge bullets, you know, at that range while still kicking Mutaba's ass, I mean, and you'd have to see it coming, I mean, I don't know. I still think Mutaba did a good showing against Tiger Nico, considering everything we know about Tiger Nico and stuff, right? Now, granted, we've seen the real Nico do crazy stuff with bullets and stuff, but I still say, you know, he ran away once Mutaba went. He's like, this motherfucker's dangerous. I'm gonna run away from the blind guy for now. But yeah, so Mutaba's out in the back and stuff like that, and a lot of people are now, that I saw on Discord, are saying that that's a potential traitor. That's somebody, because they were asking about that, like, wait a minute, we got all these groups, there's a lot of disorganization, who the hell put Mutaba outside the arena? That's a terrible idea, you know, so maybe there's a traitor in the mix and stuff, but pretty much they're showing off what the connector can do, right? And that's pretty much the chapter. Everyone's shocked to see it, and that's the chapter. But we still have multiple Fangs of Metsudo here, because Omari's still here, isn't he? I don't know if we've seen him yet, but we have... So we have the 4th Fang, the 7th Fang, and the 8th Fang all here. We have Mutaba. And we have Oma. I mean... I'm just saying. Shen's good. Shen's top tier. He's beyond comprehension. But... I'm just saying is that, you know, Edward was also kind of like in a league all on his own. And then there was... a lot of dudes going at him all at once, and I mean, he still dominated, but he died. So I'm just I'm just saying is that there's some heavy hitters here that I don't think Shen's going to have the easiest time. And if he plays on his fallacy from last time, sort of his fault, that he's like, all right, listen, I'm going to lower myself down to your level because I haven't had a good fight in a while. If he does that again, I mean, Mukaka was over 100 years old and stuff, you know, and he was pulling out all these stunts. Now, I'm just sort of excited to see what 235 is going to bring us, you know? I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to be what everyone expects, because I didn't expect last chapter, I didn't expect this chapter, so I'm just saying is that I haven't seen a lot of theories being right from a week-to-week basis lately on what's going to happen next, so, and that's probably a good thing. It's absolutely a good thing that we cannot predict. As a community, we haven't been able to predict where the story's headed, but it's not a bad thing because it's bad, it's because, oh wow, we're doing this now, okay, wait a minute, you know, so that's good. That's keeping me on the edge of my seat. That's keeping suspense. I like it, okay? I like the chapter. I'm obviously not going to do a read-through because it's not a reaction or whatever, but suffice it to say, they reject the deal. Shen's showing off, you know, he's you know, spending his time whipping out his dick and just showing it off, you know, that he's that guy, and that's pretty much the chapter. So I'm looking forward to 235. What do you guys think's going to happen? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Maybe somebody will be right this week, but or for next week, I should say. But that's the review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And we'll see you beautiful people back here once again for some more Kengan Omega next week. Looking forward to it. Know you guys are too. See you back here next time. Have a good one, everyone. Sayonara.